Well, bonjour, and welcome to another exciting edition of Cafe with Etienne. This particular week's blog is called What's Up with the Owl? And it's sort of a dive into the next generation, the youth that are graduating from both high school and college right now, sort of the next, the generation that falls just below the millennials. And their political views, especially their economic political views. And contrary to what I think a lot of people believe, they are not, some sort of abject socialist group or, some sort of woke mob mentality. Quite the contrary. I think that they're largely very ambivalent, but they are extremely suspect about organized power. I'll be quite candid with you. This fits quite nicely in line with my own political philosophies, and as a result, actually gives me some degree of hope. And, I start off the blog talking about a trip that Sandy and I had taken to Paris about, oh my God, almost 2 years ago now, where we met a young woman who was a student at the Sorbonne. And some of the, you could hear from her talk some of the antagonism that she had towards collectivism herself, as well as the idea of socialism. Now, this, looking forward, just about 2 weeks ago, Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, did a TikTok video, one where he was trying to appeal to the youth of France to get vaccinated. And the entire thing was focused around this idea of, the positive benefits of vaccination against COVID-19 and blah, 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 blah. The focus, however, of the video was the t-shirt that he chose to wear, since he was trying to appeal to the youth rather than dressing like I do, since clearly I don't try to appeal to the youth. He was wearing a black t-shirt that had a graphic of an owl on the breast, and it was kind of a, geometric owl that was put on. Rather than everybody focusing in on the substance of his message, the real focus became, what is the underlying message of the owl? What type of hidden political agenda is he trying to communicate with this owl? Essentially, the entire message has been completely lost. Now the focus is on, like I said, this owl. And interestingly enough, there's been almost a commercial endeavor that's now developed with people, mimicking the owl and doing all these different types of things. Now, in a sense, it's somewhat humorous, right? But I think it actually touches on a fundamental mistrust that the youth has towards organized systems of power. They're also showing a real focus on the idea of individualistic capitalism. This is really, really interesting because most of the older generations, my generation and the generation that preceded me, we're focused on the idea of orthodoxy, of the idea of maintaining these systems of controls. And collectivism, that's really taken root both in my parents' generation and my generation. This is a direct result of the developments of the 1960s. The millennials have, to a large degree, essentially bought off on this orthodoxy. But the youth, the people that are in high school and college right now, they seem to be largely rejecting it, not rejecting it in favor of another established concept. Rather, they're largely ambivalent, but they are showing signs of fundamental interest in capitalism for our own personal growth and development, as well as a fundamental mistrust of institutionalized power, whether that's corporate power or governmental power. Now, in my opinion, this is actually a good thing. It also helps to completely eliminate areas of social bias and things like that. After all, if the only focus is on, basically maintaining the highest quality of life that you can possibly do for yourself and your family, you're really not going to care the race, the religion, the color, the ethnicity of anyone that you're doing business with, as long as they provide value to you. When they no longer provide value, then you become largely dismissive and you look for someone else that you can either provide value to or receive value from. this idea of a fundamental market meritocracy actually has the ability to raise, as it always has, people out of poverty and at the same time eliminate all sorts of racial and sexual biases. So I think it's actually a good thing, and I think it actually shows us a high degree of hope. Anyways, I highly encourage you to read the blog this week. You can access that at artemishq.com. It will go live on Wednesday. As always, I want you to train constantly, train consistently, train repetitively, and train with purpose. Above all else, stay safe.